Hey, everybody, we're here. We're live. We're going to be bringing in our guest. It's Robocop meets Jaws today on Backer Pause. So get on the ready with your charge cards because these Kickstarters are definitely going to tempt you. Welcome to Backer Pause. What is Backer Pause? Our judges watch crowdfunding videos on air. When they lose interest in a video, for any reason, they hit pause and explain what caused them to experience Backer Pause. This is a fun way to teach creators about attention spans and what works and does not work for their videos. Videos featured from projects that are being advocated for on comicbookadvocates.com with permission. Want to be judged? Have a crowdfunding campaign you want to have on the show? Well, send us an email at comicsnewswire@yahoo.com, and that's comics, COMIX. So who wants to play? All right, and the warning and disclaimer we have to play just because, people say we shouldn't say. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, let's get into it right away. Returning champ Ben, Shark of War, bitingcomics.com. What is up, Ben? Welcome back to the program.
Hey, how you doing, Rob? It's good to be here. I'm in day 2 of my campaign. Things are going pretty well, so I'm excited to be here and play Backer Pause.
So now, here we are, issue number 4 already. Like, you have kept it going. The momentum is no joke with you. You've put this out there. You're someone who delivers your campaign. You have some of the best energy I've ever seen a creator have, and I've said that. And you won me over with who you are. Can you explain where we are in the story right now with Shark of War for the returning guests? And if you're new to this, don't worry, we'll get to you too. But right now, for the returning backers, what is this about now, this issue?
Shark of War is Jaws meets Robocop. Basically, an injured shark is grabbed by the U.S. military and experimented on. He escapes. He's been pre-programmed to enforce U.S. law, and he starts doing that in the sharkiest way possible. The criminal cartels that transport drugs and people and weapons on the oceans don't like that. So they hire one of his creators to put a stop to him. And in issue 2, she almost does that and almost kills him. Issue 3 is him trying to survive his injuries with the help of a small child as his only friend. Issue 4, he's been rearmed, reloaded, and he's back in action, and he's madder than ever. And he wants revenge on the people who hurt him in the first place. Part of the storyline, is over the top sci-fi. The other part, though, is on a deeper level. And, I always risk getting laughed at when I say Shark of War has a deeper meaning. But on a deeper level, it's about the interaction between human and, or in this case, shark, and artificial intelligence. As he's become smarter and he's working with his artificial intelligence, he's taking on some human characteristics while still being a shark. So emotions like anger and revenge, which he'd never experienced before, are starting to come into his field of understanding.
Shark of War grows arms and legs, confirmed.
No, he will never be an anthropomorphic cartoon animal. He will always be a shark. I really don't like the anthropomorphic. I like them as fun comics, but for the most part, I like my animals to be, animals.
All I see now is a giant tank with Shark of War in it and legs on the side, mechanical legs for land battle. All right, let's take a look at this video that you got.
Oh, okay, great.
Here it is, Shark of War without interruption.
my name is Ben Lacey, and I hope you enjoyed that preview of issues 1 through 4 of Shark of War. If you haven't read Shark of War yet, I believe you'll really enjoy the exciting Jaws meets Robocop story. And if you have read and liked the first 3 issues, I think you'll love issue 4 as our shark hero has recovered from his terrible injuries. He's been upgraded, he's stronger, he's faster, and he's packing bigger guns. Plus, he's really pissed off. This is going to be a fun campaign. I have an awesome Jaws Death of Quint cover by Amanda Rachels, and a cool Shark of War Flying into Battle cover by Brian Dawson. I have a bunch of cool extras, like a new Shark of War keychain, Shark of War refrigerator magnet, and zombie sharks. Plus, I have the coolest backer bonus ever, wire-wrapped, 1-inch long fossilized shark teeth, all ready for a chain. If you're a shark lover, you'll definitely want one. And even if you don't, there's somebody you know that will love it. And I'll have it to you in time for Christmas. Thank you for your time, and please back Shark of War.
Yeah, I'm still here. Don't worry.
Okay.
I turned off the camera just because I put on a shirt because I'm batching my Deadpool here for you guys, but put the guns away because the only one who has guns is Shark of War today. So I love the end of your videos. I've always said this. I know some other people have always been like, well, at the end of the video when he explains it, it goes on long. You got me at that point. I kind of like that because I've always said I think you do the right mix. I would like a voiceover in the video. Other than that, I always like your videos. I've actually been entertained by your videos every time they've been on the show.
The opening there, that little opening bit where I say, I spell out in letters that it's Jaws meets Robocop is actually from a change I made because of your comment on one of these things. Last go around, I added that in to hit that better because I realized maybe I wasn't hitting it strong enough.
Now, let me ask you, you've been to a couple shows now, and of course, you're going this weekend. For those watching this live, he has an upcoming show just this weekend. And for most of you who are watching this, by the way, that if you're watching this at 9 p.m., this is pre-recorded earlier in the day. We're not live right now, so Ben will get back to you on the comments. We're not actually here, so that's why we're not doing comments. We recorded this earlier in the day. But where are you going to be this weekend?
I'm going to be at the Columbia Comic-Con and Toy Expo in Columbia, South Carolina. This is going to be my first con in a couple of months. Curious to see how it'll go with the COVID, surge. But I've had like 5 or 6 cons I've gotten to go to now in the last 6 months, and I'm excited to get back into it. In fact, I've got like a string of like 5 in a row coming up here over the next month and a half in Greenville, South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina. So I'll be doing a number of cons. I'd like to get down to you guys in Florida. I know there's one like right after Thanksgiving that's the soonest one I could go to. So I'm not sure I'm going to try that or not, but I'm hoping to get to Florida too.
Well, Florida is definitely good. We start in January, my friend. So you don't even got to wait that long. I do want to ask you really quickly, and then we're going to see our first video for today. What is the pitch like in person? Is the Robocop versus Jaws? Does that stop people? Because I would think that stops people in their track, and they go, "Okay, tell me more."
Well, usually what I do is anybody who gets close to my table, I'm like, "Do you like sharks?" And I have a giant blow up shark hanging above my table. And most people have banners behind them. I found one of these giant blow up sharks and I mounted it above my table on PVC piping. So that at least gets some people to look over. So if anyone gets close, I'm like, "Do you like sharks?" And if they're like, "Yes," I'm like, "Shark of War is Jaws meets Robocop. It's Jaws if the shark is the hero. It's Robocop if the cop is a shark." I go right into that pitch. And hopefully some of them most people will listen and they'll be like, "Hey, that sounds really cool." And then they'll go away. And some of them though will actually buy something. So that's really nice. And I added things like the plush sharks, like that zombie shark I showed, because I realized that there's some people who just aren't interested in comic books, but they're interested in other things. And I've sold, about 30% of my sales now is probably little stuffed sharks that people like, and keychains and things like that. So I've kind of added that to my line to help make my targets.
I've seen the display. I think that alone has got to get a couple people to giggle and stop, because half of our
Oh,
display is meant to be that. The free hugs and spank sign, despite what it actually what feelings it hurts occasionally, it actually gets people to stop and be part of a conversation very
that's good.
often. I can imagine that the floating shark there has to be kids who point at it and go, "What's that?"
Oh yeah, there's been a few kids who've been wanting the shark. They're like, I want that, and they point to the. And I've been thinking, is there a way I could start selling some of the blow up sharks, maybe, or some other stuff to add to my roster. At one point I was trying to think of a way I could have the shark instead of just having it mounted above, have it some way that when I pull a lever, it drops down on the person and kind of like shoots out at them. But I haven't quite worked that out well enough yet. But at some point, I may try something like that because I think that would get some attention.
I think you just have to go to a couple Chinese companies that make those blow up things and see who can give you the best price point and buy in bulk, my friend.
Yeah, I'd like to get a really even bigger one that I could have it on the floor and people could take pictures with it or something like that. Like one of those displays when the Star Wars or the Scooby Doo people come with their Scooby van and stuff.
I'm telling you, man, the merchandising right there, just a big shark bite on the side of a shirt, like that would be a cool T-shirt, and just have it say "Shark of War" where the bite is.
I've thought about shirts before, but people told me they didn't do that great in Kickstarters and were a pain. So I haven't tried shirts yet.
They are, in all honesty, they are some of the more painful stuff to actually try to do at times, but you do them because they're kind of cool. You just got to be careful. See, for you with the shark, I think I've seen your merchandising ability. I think you do well with merchandise. If you got clever, and you're very clever with your humor, so I think you could figure out a couple funny shirts. Like I'm telling you, a giant shark bite right on the side.
That's an interesting idea. I'd just been thinking of having the shark on the shirt, but the shark bite is an interesting idea.
And all you have to do is write in like white that looks like it's bleeding. Have it say like, sharkofwar.com, and then that's it. You're good to go. All right, so we're gonna go on to our first one for today. So let's see who's up on the docket today first. The Immortal Error looks like that they're up first, and he's actually going to be ending next week. He should be back on the show very, very soon. So we're going to take, and I know you know him. You guys have been on the show together, if I'm not mistaken, you and Edward.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I remember, but I don't remember names and with faces at all. So
well, even better.
It's probably likely I have, but I don't remember this comic book. So this might be a different one than he had before.
Well, this is actually the fifth one. So if you don't know it, let me introduce you to the Immortal Error. Remember, raise your hand when you have a reason to have backer pause.
Welcome to the Immortal Era, a post-apocalyptic world set 200 years in the future. A hopeless world, a world without death. A mysterious event in the year 2000 plunged humanity into a cursed existence, burdened with immortality. Now the world stands divided, with only a small group of outcasts forced to live their lives in the decaying underground, fighting to save the planet. They've tasked themselves with hunting relics from the past, relics that will answer decades-old questions and find the way to restore the natural life cycle, saving humanity by killing them. When we last left our heroes, Ari had escaped the clutches of Dr. Nix, only to find herself a prisoner of the dangerous robotic police force who roam the surface, out of the frying pan and into the fire. How will she escape this fate, and what dangers lie ahead? Find out in the newest issue of Immortal Era. As always, we have lots of exciting new rewards to meet the needs of brand new or returning backers.
All right, so what'd you think?
That was pretty good. It kind of, the only thing I don't understand is the downside to immortality that isn't really explained, why that's a bad thing, and why I'd want somebody going around killing people to restore the balance. But maybe it's environmental thing, human resources, or too many humans taking up too much resources? That was my only real question, because it I wouldn't mind being immortal. I'd take that deal.
You've never watched Highlander, have you?
Oh yeah, well, I guess if you're going to be hunted down to be the only one left, that would be
in this
a downside.
So in this one, if you lose an arm, that's it. You lose an arm. So there's no regeneration. There's literally a character who's just a head. So I mean, there can be.
It still sounds like it's a better deal than getting old. I mean, you stay young, or do you just get older and older and continue to live? As a decrepit person.
I have to ask them some of the show, but if I remember correctly, they're not even aging.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. I'd take that. Especially now that I'm hitting my 50s, mid 50s. I'd be fine not aging.
But you wouldn't be able to do Shark of War anymore, because it would be Shark of biting people doing nothing, shooting people for no reason. No one's dying.
Well, I assume that if you beat them enough, they're gonna. If they were totally devoured, they would die. Do you live as like random chunks of flesh if you're chewed up enough?
Oh man. All right. So with Shark of War, humor is actually very important. This is a good segue. Why did you decide to add a bit of humor into this?
I was kind of inspired by the satirical humor a little bit in Robocop. If you've seen the original movie and none of the sequels, and not the remake or the TV show, but the original movie, it had, it was not only, exciting action, but it had some dark satirical humor to it. And, I try to capture that at different points in this comic book, where he, basically he's like debating whether to save somebody or not. And he's got these directives that have been implanted into him that he has to supposedly has to obey, but doesn't quite always obey. So there's a lot of an effort to be, have some dark satire in with the shark action as well.
When we get back from the next video, I want to talk about this build your own shark thing and how that's going. But for now, we're going to move on to our next thing. But before we do that, I just want to remind everyone there is a free download available to everyone watching this show and everyone on the internet from Comic Book School Creator Connections Panel 1. And exciting news, the follow-up for this year's book, which I actually could not find an artist to work with. It did not work out for me, but some of the creators were successful with their efforts. That will be coming out at New York Comic Con. You can find all this by going to create.comicbookschool.com/forums to be part of it, and comicbookschool.com to get your download today. All right, so moving on to our next exciting project, we're going to go with Corey de la Guardia's Another Day at the Office. So this was new to us just last week, so we'll put up our overlay here. There we go. Another Day. Here we go.
Hey, Kickstarters. I just wanted to thank you guys for coming to check out my page. The brand new project is, well, it's not really a brand new project. It's one I've been working on for a little bit, but it's called Another Day at the Office. This is the complete miniseries, and it's one of the only opportunities you'll ever have to buy my debut comic book, the original first issue of Another Day at the Office, in one of the rewards. So there's an opportunity to get every comic book I've ever made also in one of the rewards. So I just want to thank everybody for coming to the page and checking it out. It's a comedy. It's lighthearted. It's sort of, it's, sort of that Brooklyn Nine-Nine kind of concept where even when rough stuff happens, cops still have to have a good sense of humor about it. So just check it out and hang out. And if you like it, support it, please. Share it. Help me make this thing grow. It's a fun opportunity to be a comic book creator, but it's hard. And it'd be nice to have a big success. So help me make this thing a reality here. And hang out with me. All right. Thanks, guys.
What'd you think?
You didn't see me raise my hand?
No, I'm sorry. Tell me why you did raise your hand. Your screen did that circle. For a minute.
Well, first off, was the aspect ratio wrong, or was that?
Was wrong.
Okay. My preference for these videos is you start with something showing the comic book, and then you talk at the end. And if if that's what I really am not that interested in seeing the creators talk about the project myself. But and his pitch, wasn't that good an explanation. It looks like he's got some cute girl art here. So if I were him, I'd be leading with that, showing some more images of her, and maybe telling me what the comic book is while there's the images. But seeing somebody talking about it and that's it, that's not that exciting.
I like the Brooklyn Nine-Nine thing, but I definitely get it. That ends this Sunday, by the way, so check it out now before time runs out. So talk to me about these cardstock print of paper shark toys. How do you even get that made?
I found out, I seen a couple other people saying, oh, I've got to pay, one of my friends, Lucas Scheifel who does Angry Fred, and he's an Australian creator. In his campaign, he had this paper toy he got made, and I was like, wow, I bet a paper shark toy would be kind of cool. So I went on Fiverr, and apparently there's a few people on Fiverr who will design you give them the images, and they'll turn it into a toy that you can fold up, glue together, and have your own paper toy. And the one you're seeing here is one he made. I had my wife make one for me because she's a little more crafty than I am, and just using regular paper, and it came out pretty good. Not as good as this. This is clearly somebody who really knows how to make a paper toy. But yeah, it cost me like, his design work cost me, he's from India, his design work cost me $5. I tipped him another $5. So $10 off the top for the toy. I always give it the template that you can print out on your own to anybody who signs up for my mailing list. You can go there and I give you the template that you can print out on your own paper. But this time is for anybody who backs the physical level, I'm going to get some of these printed out on cardstock like he used here, and send it with your rewards, and you can make it yourself. There's a video too that where you can see how to make it. So there's a how-to video of a similar paper toy to help you out.
Now, when I get back, I want to ask you if you think that these extra add-ons have helped your campaign, or do they hurt your campaign? But before we talk about that, I want to get into Jason Webb's presents Century House. So here we go with the Century House. There we go. And we're going to check out this video right now. What'd you think?
I really like the animation effect and the spooky look of it. It really doesn't tell me much about it as far as what's going on or who they are. Or, it doesn't look like Pulp Era superhero. I'm reading the line here. It looks more like dark horror kind of thing. Pulp Era superhero. I think more of the superheroes from 40s comic books, like what's the guy's name, the Tarzan spin-off, kind of like the Brass Man, or
I think it's the art style that he's leaning into Pulp with their costume designs. Just looking at their costumes, it looks Pulp Era-ish.
Really?
Well, it's more simplistic. If you ever look at the Pulp Era costumes, they're a lot more DIY. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's what it, the art's a lot, a little brighter too. But I really did like the animation effects. I thought it had a cool, spooky feel to it, um, um, almost horror. But I don't know what the story's about at all from that.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, but again, I mean, it sounds like you might have been interested enough to keep scrolling.
Yeah, yeah, I would have looked through the write up.
So sometimes that's a success all on its own. And speaking of things that are hopefully going to be a success, Blood and Fire starts soon, guys. Now is your time to go to Kickstarter and do Blood and Fire, the Samurai Tale, and get behind Aaron's news project and hit the notify me so you're aware of when it launches. So now back to what we were talking about, all these extra add-ons, because you're someone who has very clever add-ons. And I'm not a big stretch goal person. I'm not a huge fan of stretch goals. I don't like the incentives. I'm a more comic book. I don't even like doing all covers, to be honest with you. If I could just put up a comic with one cover, I'd be happy, thrilled, I tell you, because that's what I'm in it for. I'm in it to make a comic book and to let people read something that I created. But you go out of your way. So do you think that this end of day financially, do you think it earns its keep, all the stuff that you do?
A lot of it. I always get some backers for my Jaws spin-off cover. I always do like a play on the Jaws poster. That always gets some backers, and I sell it for, it's a higher tier reward. And I also sell some at cons, and I do it myself, so it's not really costing me any money. I think it's down a little further, this one. It's always a different play on the original Jaws poster. Yeah, that's the base cover. Yeah, this one's the play on it follows the story. Like the first cover was the shark, was almost like a direct spin on the shark post jumping out of the water. And then the subsequent covers have kind of gone and evolved as the story has gone, as he's gone from being hunter to hunted to victim to now resurgent. So that's gone well. Some of the covers I've bought from other artists, I think they've, I don't know if they're making back what it cost me to do them in the short term on the Kickstarter. In the long term, it shows and stuff. I think they help the alternate artist cover. I've already noticed some people have been picking up the Amanda Rachel's Death of Quint cover, who are like, I assume because they're Jaws fans, and I always try to appeal to the Jaws fans. Some of the other things like the shark tooth stuff, I think that helps. I can buy them. It makes me competitive in terms of value to like
now, does that
the big boys.
Shipping?
Huh?
Does that affect your shipping?
Well, if I'm going to ship, if I'm doing a single issue, I'm going to ship it, media mail. And so I won't put I don't offer this, include this in, unless they do it as an add-on. I don't offer this as included unless you're at a higher level, where I can make the money. But if I'm back, for single issue, I just do media mail. For anything over that, I start winding up using the priority mail.
If it fits, it ships.
Yeah. And I stuff. I managed to cram quite a bit into one of those legal size. You got to order them from the post office to get the legal size priority mail envelopes, because you probably won't find them at your own post office. But the legal size priority mail envelopes, one price, stuff as much as you can in there, usually gets me, my comic books and any extras like this. But yeah, these things, I can offer, I buy them in bulk, and then I can offer them at a rate, you couldn't probably get it, online. So I can increase my value proposition for people so that, if you're a shark fan, you want a shark necklace, I'm a good source for it. And this is a pretty nice little thing. And if you order over $30, you get this included. And if you want more, it's an add-on for $10 in my add-ons page.
I'll say this. I want to, off camera, find out how you found out how to get bones on the internet. I don't want to say it here. We don't have a lawyer present. We're going to move on quickly, but I do want to give a heads up to everyone. If you're a creator and your Kickstarter is starting now, you are going to be affected by the holiday increased price range, more than likely. Shipping is starting to get more expensive starting late October, early November. They've already announced it. in preparation for the holidays. And if you're starting a campaign right now, consider adding $1 onto your shipping, as it will be more expensive for the next couple months. And again, COVID is always the answer for why things are more expensive nowadays. So expect the COVID tax. And for backers, understand that there is an inflation of all goods. Even comic books are now getting more expensive to print, as paper is now a shortage as well. Wonderful. So things are getting more expensive as always, but we're going to head on to our next one. And then when we get back, we're going to talk more about Shark of War. But for now, we want to move on to Anaki, and I think I'm saying that right this time. We're going to find out right now when we watch the video for this. And this is given to us by E.N. Job, and here it is.
Tarzeti, hundreds of years in the past, was a haven for man, beast, and witch. They lived beautiful lives, interacting with each other in this marvelous African world. Until the Balemba, the elite of witches, knew their full power. And the Inquisition saw them as a threat to their very existence. War was inevitable. Battle was fierce. The Inquisition rained their might on the Balemba and almost rendered them extinct. But on the sleeves of their disappearance, hope was born. A baby, the last of a kind. Her name is Anaki. Will she withstand the might of that same Inquisition? Only time will tell.
What do you think?
That was pretty cool. I like the voiceover, and the background music played well with it. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of the wavering graphics on the edges there, but it wasn't too distracting. I'm not sure I see why this is 18 plus. There must be more nudity in the comic book than in the preview, because it didn't look like anything that couldn't be all ages. But it looked interesting. Yeah, it was a good video, and the production values were pretty high.
But for the record, this is not for kids. This is not all ages. This is definitely for the adult audience. And you can kind of see on the front cover they use right away.
Yeah. There you can.
You see it. There's the one.
But I mean, you could. It seems like one you could make all. You could make for teens up if you just covered a few naughty bits. Frankly, I'm not sure that the story requires it to be 18 plus.
Implied nudity.
Yeah.
All right. So before we go on to this, we have another campaign that we want to talk about that will be coming to you guys soon, that you can subscribe to now. And that is Forbidden, issue number 2. This is from Vera Sam. There's no turning back. David Hunter reveals his true identity and races to locate and destroy the son of Vorks. Before dun dun dun, you're going to be able to find that soon. But get on to Kickstarter and hit the notify me button. Now, back to Shark of War. So we've established that you got all this going on, and you got these cool little things that you send out, and they're part of these packages. I want to ask you, you're at issue number 4 already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that help? Because I know that for me, having a library, it's beneficial, especially on Kickstarter when you have new backers.
It helps. It helps, but like I mentioned when we were talking earlier, I'm seeing a really good return of past backers. It seems to be harder to get new backers to come in. So if the new backers that do come in, they're either buying my digital 4-pack or they're buying the catch-up hard copy pack. So that helps. If I could get more new backers in, that would really help a lot. I think it would really help a lot. Obviously, my returning backers, and like I said, I'm getting a very good percentage of returning backers, which pleases me, and because means I'm doing something right. but the word isn't getting out far enough to get me enough new backers. So obviously the returning backers just buy the the next issue because they've already got the rest of them.
All right, well, we're going to move on to check out Brett's Nightfall, The Witching Hour right now. This is brand new to the show, so I'm going to not only will Ben be seeing this for the first time, me too. Here's a no whammy on copyrighted music because I didn't even get to check this morning. So if we quickly come out, that's because it's Metallica. What'd you think?
Well, I really like the artwork. I mean, that artwork looks really, good or better than anything you'd see in a Big Two comic book. And I like that background music, that operatic dun 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 kind of music they had going in the background. That worked really well. I didn't get a great feel for the characters, or it showed me a lot of different images of people running around fighting and posing. So I didn't get a great feel for the story, but it really impressive art and nice background music. Definitely would look more.
Yeah, I definitely think that this definitely has some chops, and we're going to move on to our next actual preview, which, oh, look, it's my turn. Cat Dad and Supermom is coming to a screen near you. Hey, Ben, have you seen Cat Dad in person?
I think I've seen you post some pictures. I haven't been to any of the cons where you've dressed up as him, but I've seen some of your pictures of him.
Have you seen a video? And I don't know what you mean about me. That's Cat Dad. What are you
doing? Oh, okay. Sorry, I gave away your secret identity.
Oh,
no.
No, but here we go. Cat Dad in the wild.
For a second issue of Cat Dad and Supermom. And this time we find out what makes a hero.
That's right. So this is.
Do you get a lot of people wanting to pose with you?
Believe it or not, yeah, it was a huge success at Florida SuperCon. At Florida SuperCon, people were coming. I had to get from behind the table to do it.
Yeah,
it has definitely made me look at my cardio plan a lot differently now. Wearing something that skin tight, it is a little weird. It is. Because people are kind of looking at you and staring at you, and yeah, it's weird. But it's seeing the kids' faces. I had a little kid run up and go, "You're a crazy Batman." I'm like, "No, I'm Cat Dad." So we're having fun with it. We're gonna have fun this weekend when we're going to the Suncoast Fan Fest over here in Bradenton, Florida, where you can see Cat Dad. He will be in the wild. I don't know if Ben's talking about me being Cat Dad. What is that about? I want to see Ben dress up as the Shark of War. That's the next cosplay that has to happen. Ben is
now. I'm sorry. Now you need to do what happened in Superman comics, where somehow Clark Kent would always appear next to Superman just in time to convince Lois Lane that he wasn't Superman. The old Silver Age comics.
It'll happen. I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a duet on TikTok because I can get away with it. And I'll be like, "Here, we're both here at the same time. What are you guys talking about?" Because I'm wearing the mask, you wouldn't see the Cat that's doing it. I could totally pull it off because I would just be like, "See, we're both in the same video," and I just mouth it on the other side. See, I can play some fun too. All right, so we're actually, believe it or not, getting down to our last actual campaign for the day.
Wow.
We're doing. I think I'm going to take a quick look, but I think that's it. I think we. It seems a little slower. Have you noticed that with Kickstarter? Right now, it seems less than it was during the summer. The summer was crazy.
Well, a lot of the people in the support group I'm in seem to be having projects going on right now. So I don't know if it's a lot slower to me, but I don't keep a close track on Kickstarter, month in and month out. I back the people I back, and then I occasionally look at other projects, but I'm not like tracking it month to month. So I couldn't tell you if it's slower or not. It seems normal, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, after the summer was
Yeah.
insane. The summer saw so many. I think, like you said, it's more to a normal baseline of what Kickstarter was. But this summer had a lot of them were really freaking good. And there's some great ones coming. Sean Keenan's going to come. And I hope he's okay, because I actually have to reach out to him. They had an earthquake in Melbourne, Australia. So I do want to reach out to him at some point today. By the way, for anyone who backed Heroics, the PDF is now out. It's on the Kickstarter itself. It's an update. All you got to do is go to the updates. It's a backer-only update, and you can get your copy of it. And we even have a special file for Gothic Blue. So Gothic Blue, in the comic, you'll have to turn the comic book sideways. But on a PDF, that kind of sucks. You can't turn a PDF sideways. So I made a special PDF so you can read it. It's like a video game. Remember, Ben, the video games where they showed one image and they'd show all the text and it would tell you the story?
Oh, okay, that's cool.
I wanted to do something different. I love doing different stuff like that. One thing about comics that I love, especially being in the in charge, basically being able to do whatever we want to do. Sometimes we can do things, even especially for the Continuum, where we're working on a story. Actually, you should be hopefully in an upcoming issue of Continuum. We're getting there, right? Slowly but surely.
I hope so.
We're so close. We're so close. So hopefully we'll get that. And I really love what I'm seeing, what we got over there. And I think that's the future for the project. I think you're one of the more passionate creators that we have. But speaking of passionate creators, one who's actually won an award on our awards program, which, by the way, the Independent Creator Awards are returning earlier this year. We're returning at the very beginning of November. We might even go live in October for voting. There might be a reason behind this. I'm trying to figure something out. Stay tuned for more. I don't have enough to tell you, so I'm not vague booking, but I'm going to try to pull something off, and we'll see if I can make it happen. But for now, let's take a look at our final one for the evening, the award-winning Cocktail Enthusiast Campaign. Here we go. This is for you, Jeff Ryder, another great creator from Florida, and he's doing great with this on the Kickstarter. So check it out and see if this is something you want to have on your pull sheet of Kickstarter. What'd you think?
That looked pretty cool. I like the I got a decent idea of what the story's about. Is the idea they all drink a cocktail and they get superpowers?
It's like the cocktails enable them to become powerful, and they run a bar, and they go against these demons and goblins. And I hope I'm doing that right, Jeff. I hope I'm doing you proud right now by doing that. Because I don't want to give too much away, because I did read that there's some twist stuff that happens in it, so you don't want to give too much away. It's probably a hard book to pitch. I should have listened to. He was at SuperCon. I should have listened to his pitch because sometimes I like watching you guys pitch. I'll stand just back, and I made my friends nervous because they know that I do things like backer applause, and I'm always talking about how important your pitches are. And speaking of that segue moment, speaking of how important pitches are, while I scroll through your thing, pretend I just showed up to your table. Let's do practice for this weekend, Ben. I just walked over and I stopped because I saw your giant shark, and you see me looking at the shark. What do you do, Ben?
You like sharks? That's my first question. That's my pitch question. Do you like sharks?
Dead ones.
Well, some people actually say, I'm scared of sharks, or they frighten me, and then I point out, well, in one of my issues, I have a how to avoid a shark attack guide just for people who are scared of sharks. So you may want to check that out in my issue 3, and then in issue 4, if I fund and I'm going to do it as a stretch goal, I'm going to have a what to do if a shark actually does attack you. I've gone to different sites to read up on that, and then I illustrate it in a humorous way, what to do to avoid a shark attack and what to do if a shark attacks you.
Well, I definitely think we're going to help you get to the goal, and you're going to get there all on your own too. I see this being successfully funded. Give us the pitch, the pitch. The one I'm talking about. The pitch that I think people will buy the book for.
Sharkivore is Jaws meets Robocop. It's Jaws at the shark where the hero. It's Robocop at the top where the shark. He's in a U.S. military experiment who's escaped and is on the loose enforcing the law as he sees fit. Issues 1 through 4 are out now. You can back it at sow.bitingcomics.com or sharkivore.bitingcomics.com. Please check it out. You can get all my comics for digitally for just $12 with some cool bonuses. Hard copy with shipping included is just $13. And I have a lot of cool backer bonuses, not only for early backers, but for backers who back above a certain level. I've got a lot of cool add-ons. I've got alternative covers. If you're a Jaws fan, you'll want to check out the Jaws poster tribute and the Amanda Rachel's Death of Quint cover on my Kickstarter. So lots of stuff there.
Well, I'm normally I don't announce this, but on Talk 3 on my TikTok, which, by the way, I want to see you on TikTok, Ben. I think you do good on TikTok. I'm going to pick Sharkivore to be in the top 3 for the Talk 3 this week. You have to check out TikTok to see what the other 2 will be. So I will see everyone on TikTok. But for now, we're out of here. I want to thank Ben for being part of the program and for constantly bringing us entertaining pitch work. And now I'm going to dream of shark teeth and how you can get them on the internet. There we go. Here, and check out the Sharkivore now. He's joining us via satellite.
Back my book.
There we go.
I still need to work on my puppetry.
All right, there we go. And that's it for now, guys. Again, we were live earlier in the day. We're going to do some comments now while Ben is here because a couple people had said some things, and I just want Ben to know it. But understand that this program was live earlier in the day. If you're watching this now, later, and it's in the evening, depending on where you are, or late afternoon, we're not live anymore. So this is why we haven't responded to you. But I saved these to the end of the program just because we have 10 minutes left. We usually aim for an hour. So here, this is kind of an overtime that was done only while live. So please don't ask questions that you expect us to answer live on the video. Ask away because I'll let Ben know and I'll tag Ben in the questions. But give us a little time to get back to you. Trish says, hello, my friends. Good morning. Good morning, Trish. Hello. Swag and covers bring me to the table. The story brings hubby to the table. What about you, Ben? Since we have a couple minutes, and I saw someone ask this: what's more important to you, the story or the art?
I'm a story person. I can if I hear it's a great story. A lot of Alan Moore's stuff, I didn't think the art was that great, but I love his stories. So I usually go by the writer of the story. I consider myself much more of a writer than an artist. So I'm very drawn to a good story, a good premise. Artwork is important. It has to be good enough for my mind. It has to be good enough for me to like the to be able to follow the story. But beyond that, it's great if it's great, but it just has to be good enough for me to follow the story, and I'll be interested. I remember when the Image comic guys came on, and they had tremendous art, but some of the stories were not that awesome, and the storytelling wasn't awesome because the people who were doing it were all good artists, and I didn't really gravitate to those. I mostly stuck to the Vertigo titles and the other big two titles that had the better storyline.
I'll say this: I'm both. You need to. If you don't do both for me, I'm not going to be a fan of yours. I don't pick up books based on covers. Let me tell you right now, I'm a comic book fan for decades. I know to open a book. I have learned you open a book. And let me tell you, there are times where you're a nice human being. So when you're opening the book, you're like this, and you're like, ooh. And there are flaws for art sometimes. And you don't show it. You try not to show it on your face. And generally what I'll do is I'll ask, well, how much is this? And if a creator has a book that's, it doesn't have the best art in the world, but they have a fair price point, I'll ask more about the story. Because if you give me a good enough story, I can base. I mean, I grew up in the 80s. Our television looked horrible. We had like the worst sci-fi stuff coming out when I was growing up. Star Wars was the pinnacle. And if you looked at that, if you gave that to a millennial right now, with the way it is, let alone Generation Zombie, whatever they are, they would be like, what is this crap? And you'd want to hurt them. But it's true because they're so used to all this sci-fi stuff. So I'm okay. I'll take a look at it. And I've told Ben this, you can win me over with a good story. And if you're a good creator, like if I feel passion coming off you, I'm going to want to follow your journey and see you grow. And I think that's so important. So for me, it's always both. But I'm like Ben, the story can win me over a lot more times. Because art is good, but I can read a book and create my own art. And sometimes you create art in between panels with the right story. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
We were just talking about that, the implication of nudity, where you can kind of think of Jean Grey and how she might look naked because they show her in a silhouette and she's getting dressed. Those are the types of moments that allow you, the person, to do it. And that's a writer writing that in and an artist drawing it to be, so there's a marriage, I always think, between the two. Trish says, poor Celia, I see him wearing that costume soon. No, but we will make Celia a character in Cat Dad and Superman universe, or that will make him his own cartoon thing, his own kids comic. We'll get him in there. The Instagram model will have his own comic soon. And Ben says 9 hours left on my sci-fi. I don't know what this is, Ben. Let me see. Maybe we can find this and give Ben some love since we're in overtime and we have a minute. What do you think, Ben? Do
you want to go ahead. You want to get the same first name as me, so.
You want to give Ben another look? Let's see if we can call this up real quick. Let me see. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find where he made the comment. So if he made the comment on my normal video, I should be able to find it. No, it might be a YouTube comment. All right, so Trish, we're going to go here, and then I'm going to see if I can dig that out. Trish says, get some gummy sharks, put them in a bowl. That's actually not a bad. Have you thought about giving away gummy sharks?
In this environment, I probably wouldn't want to do, be accused of being a super spreader as people put their hands in the bowl. If I got an individually packaged, shark.
One shark?
Yeah, a little gummy shark. Here, have a gummy shark.
Well, if it was a jumbo shark, it might actually work. Like you get a bigger size shark, because I've seen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when I was at one con over here in Spartanburg, South Carolina, the air conditioning was terrible. But as it happened, one of the air conditioning ducts was just right over where people would stand at my table. So people would come by and they'd stand there for a moment because the air conditioning was good in that one spot. And I'm like, hey, if you're going to use that air conditioning, you got to listen to my pitch. And they'd be like, okay, give me your pitch. So that was one way I got people to listen to my pitch who might not have otherwise listened.
It's not a bad idea, actually. You want some salvation? All right, so I'm trying to find this thing because the one thing I can't do, screw it, it's not this one. Is
search by Slayback. I don't know if that's his name.
Maybe
or Exilium. It's probably if you search by Exilium. I
did, and Indiegogo came up, and
Oh, I meant in the Kickstarter.
Oh, wait a minute. I found a season 2. I found it.
Ah.
Oh, I know this one. This was we've covered. I thought it sounded familiar. Ben, why didn't you come to us earlier? We would have had it on the show. Let's see. 4 created, and I'm going to show you guys because I know everyone's like, "What is he talking about?" There we go. So I found it. We're live. Here we go. Oh, this is why he didn't come to me. He didn't need to.
Oh, wow. $11,000. Yeah. Well, even Australia, yeah, it's still $8,500. Yeah, he's doing really well.
Well, I'm looking at the backer count, 214.
Yeah, I would love 214 backers.
All right, Ben, this one's for you, homie. 8 hours to go. Oh, crap. For some reason, the videos aren't playing today. Ben, tell us about the exclusive offers that you have on your campaign right now while I try to download this video.
Yes, anybody who backs by Friday gets a cardstock print of the Shark of War paper toy template, so you can make your own Shark of War. It's a great project for kids of all ages and anybody who likes sharks. You also get a Shark of War refrigerator magnet. And if you back above $20, I'm going to send you a 1/2-inch plus fossilized shark tooth. And if you back above $30, I'm going to send you a 1-inch plus wire.
Hold on, something just started playing. All right, we're running out of time, so I'm gonna try to do this quick. We're gonna put it on backer pause for you, Ben. The actual thing, we are running out of time. We have to keep this down to an hour, so we're gonna play this video very quickly. Ben, raise your hand if you find a reason to have backer pause. Let's see. Hopefully this works. All right, we have 90 seconds in a race to finish, Ben. Quickly, what do you think of it?
It looked good. It seems like the video is geared to people who've already been reading this series. It sounds like this is a series that's been out for a while. I wasn't totally clear. Is this black and white or color? Because some of the art was black and white. Maybe it's just not been colored yet. The video is very good, though.
Go to Kickstarter right now to find out all those answers. But Ben, tell them how they can find you. You get the last word. We have less than a minute.
My Kickstarter is sow.bitingcomics.com, or as you see in the thing, sharkofwar.bitingcomics.com. If you want to just read issue 1 for free, go to bitingcomics.com and you can get issue 1 for free. It's my digital deluxe version. It gets you not only the full story, but a whole bunch of digital extras. Plus, you'll be able to download that paper Shark of War toy template if you want to print one yourself off. But if you back my Kickstarter at a physical level by Friday, I'm going to send you a cardstock copy of that.
All right. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Thank you to Ben for being our judge and for the awesomeness that he brought to the show. BackerPause.com is where you can find all this. BackerPause is now on Twitter. Thank you all. And remember, the power of $1. We don't have time to show the video, but back any campaign today for $1 and help make